Hey, what's going on, YouTube fam? So check this out. Today's video is going to be talking about addressing something that I am seeing more commonly, and it's more prevalent. And I don't want to say more prevalent like it's just something new. Nothing's really ever just new. It's probably just being rediscovered, or it's new to us because we are new here. So, anyways, I just want to discuss, and this may be a sensitive topic for some. I don't know. I don't think so, but you never know. You never just know because people are at different mental states. So if you are kind of not there, you don't have the mental capacity to talk about it or hear about it right now, discuss it, kind of want to click on this video and kind of come back when you are capable. Are you ready? So it's power in acknowledging that and understanding that, okay? And your weaknesses. And that's one of the things that I want to talk about in this video. I want to talk about the weakness of, I don't want to necessarily say the flesh, but oftentimes I want to talk about how sex pretty much clouds your judgment. And especially in men, because of course I'm a man, so I'm a male. So of course, I don't want to just say, and the reason why I'm being politically correct, not just saying men, is because you never just really know people's identity and what they identify as. So I'm going to say a male species, um, men in particular. So, anyways, I know that probably was a lot for some people. Like, we ain't gonna do all that, just get to the point. But I'm getting there, but I want to make sure that I address everything and everyone appropriately as I should, especially it's like when you know better, you do better. So anyways, moving on. Oftentimes what I found, and I'll talk about myself. So if you've been following me for quite some time, you know my story, you know that I was once the very person that I am counseling people against and counseling people from and helping people from, right? I was once that broken person running around here, miserable, hurt, spreading the hurt to everybody else around me. I was once that person. I was once that person that looked good outwardly, really in shape, kept myself up. And that was really just so that I can continue to treat people the way that I wanted to treat people, because I knew that people were pretty much weak when it came to flesh. And if you looked a certain kind of way, people would do anything and they would let you treat them any kind of way simply because you looked a certain kind of way, or you fit into a mold, right? And that's what I want to talk about. So oftentimes when you find yourself trying to talk to someone and get to know somebody, and those red flags are there, but what happens is you overlook them because you're already mesmerized by the person that you're talking to, right? You're already enamored with the way that they look, how their body look, how they smell, and especially if you have a type. And it's difficult when you have a type because you probably don't get to run into everybody that is your type. So when you do run into someone that is your type, you really become quite weak and you fall even more into the Venus flytrap or whatever, into the trap of snares of these people, because you're so enamored with them and because you don't really get the opportunity to run into your type all the time, especially if you're a professional working guy. You're just always in the books, you're always working, you're always getting to the bag, you're always grinding. So you really don't have that opportunity to engage into sexual activities as much as you probably would like, or even as much as you would want to, right? Or as much as people probably would think that you would. Because you're probably not a hypersexual person anyway, but when you do get it in, you get it in. So when you do run into that person that is your type, it's like a recipe for disaster. And I'm going to tell you why it's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for disaster because A, you're already this type of person that you've been holding out. You've been trying to keep yourself and you've been so busy with work. So you're frustrated. You're sexually frustrated. You're mentally frustrated. You're emotionally frustrated. So you have all this frustration going on in you right now. And then you run into somebody that is your type and you got all this pent up frustration. And then your mind is telling you, you don't really need to be talking to this person. Some of the things that they're telling you is kind of red flaggish and your spider senses are tingling, but because you're so enamored with the way that they look and you got all these frustrations going on, you just find yourself succumbing to their woes and other things that they do, and then you find yourself in a situation 6 months later, upset, mad, manipulated, abused, taken advantage of, or if you're the person that's hurt, you find yourself just basically doing the same thing to someone else that someone has done to you, thus continuing the cycle, thus creating more karmic debt for you. So you're just further pushing out the person that's really meant for you further along down the line, because now you have to go back and pay all this karmic debt back before you can do all these things. Then you got to heal from all of that. It's a cycle and it's a phase, and you have to understand how that works. So that's kind of one of the things that I myself had to learn. And I tell a lot of my clients, you have to make sure that, especially as men, when you have to recognize your weaknesses. If you know that you have a certain type of weakness for a certain type of female, but whatever it is you talk to, if you know that you have a certain type of weakness for this particular individual, then you need to be even more cautious when you're talking to this person and take the time to get to know them. Don't just you got to take the time to get to know them, because you have to accept the fact that that is a weakness of yours. And once you accept the fact that you know what your weaknesses are, no one can take advantage of you like that. No one can take that power away from you, because you know what your weaknesses are. Not to say that, because even the best of us fall, but you have a better chance of not falling because you actually know what your weaknesses are and you accept them and you embrace them. So that way you can kind of stave some of those issues off, because you're able to head it off. And you're able to but you're able to withhold and restrain yourself when you're around that type of person, to really get to know who they are, to see if this is somebody that you should engage into intimacy or sex with in the first place. Because what happens is that it's going to cloud your judgment. And if you know you're the type of person that sex is the gateway to your heart, especially if you feeling what they're saying and you liking the way that they look, then that's something that you really need to be able to just kind of remain mindful of, so that you can keep yourself from repeating the same mistakes and subjecting yourself to the same level of abuse that you once experienced before. Fellas, you got to understand, you can't just go around doing that, especially if you know that that is a weakness of yours, if you know that that is a soft point of yours. You can't just go around sleeping with people, falling in love with these toxic people that you know ain't no good, and then you are left to feel bitter, you're left to feel upset, you're left to feel mad, you're left to feel hurt, and you're left to feel broken. Then you in turn become broken, and then you in turn perpetuate the same cycle that they just put on you. Now you're going around doing the same thing to other people, and you're just repeating a cycle, and you're really just distracting yourself from the person that you really truly want to be with. So I'm just telling you guys, listen to me. As someone who has been there, it's not worth it. When you're in the midst of getting to know someone and you're trying to talk to somebody and you all enamored and you all there, practice restraint. Hold off. If you know that you're the type of person where you just can't lay down with somebody that you're highly attractive to and not catch feelings, then you don't need to be doing it. You don't need to be doing it. You need to protect yourselves. Guys, you have to become more protective of yourself and more protective of who you are as an individual, but you also got to know your self-worth. I'm telling you, I've been there. I know what it's about. I already know what the cause of it is. I've been there. So I hope this video was able to help you and that you learned something from it, that it resonated with you. Let me know in the comment sections what you think about it. Also, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out my website, www.tjocounseling.com. If you want to know more about me and my services that I offer. You don't have to really do all that, but if you want to, that's perfectly fine. This video is for informational purposes only. I really just want to kind of get that out there to you all to be able to help you and be a service to you guys. And I'll see you all in the next video. I was going to say Happy New Year because this video is recorded at the beginning of January, but I don't know when you're going to watch this video. So anyways, peace.